We're back in sunny Southampton after a week on P&O Iona.
We went around Northern Europe, including ports, Hamburg, Rotterdam, and we visited Amsterdam.
But what did we think?
Do you want a full guide to this ship?
Let's rewind and go back to embarkation day.
Embarkation shortly as we arrive at the terminal. As you can see on the screen, those are the subjects we're going to cover in our review. We'll mark them out of 5 and give a total score out of 40. This is our opinion of our experience on Iona. As always, watch this video, take our hints and tips, and take other reviews into consideration. Head to places like Cruise Critic and Instagram and other reviews on YouTube before you make a decision on heading on Iona Cruise. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments. Will we review this and score it better than Seaview?
On to embarkation. Embarkation for Iona was very smooth. When we first got into the terminal, it seemed like it was really busy, and I thought it was going to actually take a lot longer than it did to get on board. But I think actually the whole process, we were due to board at 1 o'clock and we were actually on board by 1:30. So overall, it was about 45-50 minutes getting through check-in and then through security. One thing that is different about P&O is that you go through the check-in prior to going through security, which you do on other ships.
I would say the only things that it can be improved to improve the score, I would say they need to hold people earlier on in the terminal. There was a little space where we could. It was a bit crazy. I would also say more things done. If there was an app that P&O had, I think that would help with embarkation. And I think the only reason it worked well was because there was plenty of staff on hand. They were excellent staff, really good. So I think that made it quite a smooth process. But for me, it was a 3.5.
And for me, it was a 3.5 also. Next, we're going to talk about the ship. As you walk onto the ship, it is very grand, beautiful atrium. As you can see, massive windows that are surrounding, really pretty to look out onto. Loads of bars, really cool places to go and sit. I'd say it is traditional, clean, and chic, I think would be my words to describe Iona. There's a little bit of everything and a little bit for everyone.
I would totally agree. The highlights for me is this impressive atrium. I loved it on a sea day when the sun was pouring in. I'd actually probably say it was my favourite atrium I've been on so far. I loved the aft of the ship. I thought that was very impressive. And I also love the sky dome. They were my 3 highlights of the ship. Slight little niggles, I would say, is the fact of I would like some more wow factors across the ship. I would also say that perhaps a little bit more fun. I think Arvia's got more fun, and I think they've learned a little bit from Iona. So as a family ship, maybe deck space, there's plenty of sunbeds. Now this ship, Iona, unlike Arvia, which is the sunshine ship, spends all summer, 6 months in Norway, spends about a quarter of the winter in Northern Europe, and only the rest in places like Canaries. So there was plenty of sunbeds, lots and lots of sunbeds. Is that good use of the decks? I'm not 100% sure. So perhaps going forward, if there's a refit at some point, maybe they could reconfigure some of the decks. But they're small niggles. I felt homely on this ship, and I really liked Iona. And also, one of the great things on board was, of course, it was colour coded on the staircases, so it helped us get around the ship, which I think is excellent. So score, I gave it a 4. I really liked Iona.
I would also give it a 4, I think. So overall score for Iona as a ship on a whole is 4. Next up, we're going to talk about the cabins. So we had a standard balcony cabin. There were going to be 4 of us sleeping in here. However, Alice did sleep with Grandma B in another room. The room itself was really clean, really good use of the spaces, really liked the bathroom, loved the fact that we had a shower door and not a shower curtain that came in on you. A few slight little niggles, I would say, about the room, one being the wardrobe. I don't like the way the wardrobes are right next to the beds. It's really difficult to pull them out. also the fact that there is no drawer space anywhere in these cabins. So putting things like underwear away is quite difficult when you've just got to place them in piles. The beds, the kids had bunk beds, although we did only use them for one night. They were comfortable and they folded away into a sofa throughout the day, which was a really good use of the space. The 4Bs give it a 3.5.
Thank you as always for watching the 4Bs. If you enjoyed this review, give it a like. If you love cruising, we have World Europa, Avia and some Cunard just around the corner. So press that subscribe button, you'll be the first to know about our videos and it's completely free. From all 4Bs, it's a thank you. Food and drink, everyone's favourite subject. We're going to start with breakfast. Breakfast was offered in the buffet, which I liked. Yes, a little bit more choice, but I thought there was healthy choices, things like porridge, cereal. There was also cooked breakfasts. The Keys offered a selection of breakfasts as well. That was really good. You could have omelettes made for you. And also in the main dining room, again, there was fruit on offer, cereals. Breakfast is a hard thing to get wrong, and I think they did it really, really well. So thumbs up for me on breakfast. And also you could get it delivered to your room, £2.50 charge.
On to lunchtime on Iona. So the Keys have a variety of different foods you could try. My only criticism on this would be that the menus don't change. It would have been nice to have a rotation over a 2 or 3 day period. Other than that, really good. The buffet for lunch had a fairly wide variety. As you can see, lots of choice. The Olive Grove, now this is included in your price for Iona and well worth booking. We had 2 bookings for our week on Iona and actually it was amazing and we were quite shocked, I think, that this was actually included in the price. Really nice things on offer. And then the MDR, I'm never overly impressed with the MDR at lunchtime. There is a selection of things that you can have. There's always the quick service where they give you the starter, main and dessert that they think you should have. One thing I will say, that custard was awful.
I love the custard.
And then we had Taste 360. As you can see, Ernest found his burger, which he loved. Epicurean does the afternoon tea. Alice, Tom and his mum went to this. What did you think of this, Tom?
I liked it. I thought it was slightly overpriced. I really liked the ice cream afternoon tea. It's £12. It says £12 per person, but one serving can serve 2. There was lots of ice cream. Definitely try that. That's in Ripples. On to the evening, I would say this was the slight disappointment for included food. MDR for me needs to be a little more tasty. Portions slightly bigger. I know that you can get second portions. And also the big disappointment, we didn't eat in the buffet at night time, but all it seemed to offer was meat and potatoes. I remember the days when I worked actually on P&O, where they used to have Chinese night, Caribbean night, Indian night. They need to up their game with the buffet, if you ask me. MDR and the buffet was disappointing in the evening. Just showing on the screen now, this is the chef's table. This is basically a extension of the MDR on formal night, and we really liked it.
Next, we have the Beach House. Beach House is amazing value for money at £10 per person, unless you have Ernest with you who picks everything that is an upcharge on top of that. However, the food was really good. Keel and Cow, again, worth a visit. This is meant to be the best burger at sea. Not sure if it's because I wasn't feeling very well, but it wasn't the best. On to Epicurean. This was the highlight of the cruise for me. That Marmite butter I'm still having dreams about now. The food was fantastic. So if you're interested to know what we had, I had the Alaskan snow crab salmon caviar cocktail. Tom had the pate. There's that cocktail there. We had the miso glaze rack of slow cooked belly lamb. And we also had the Irish beef fillet. We also had a lot of puddings. On to Sindhu. So Sindhu, we paid a deposit before getting on board and then just paid any extras when we were there. Amazing food. Again, actually, it's really tough between this and the Epicurean, which was my favourite. But the bread and butter pudding and the signature plate were absolutely fantastic.
We didn't do the drinks package, but the prices on the bar are really, really good. You don't need to have the package. I'm giving it a 4.
I'm also going to give it a 4.
Don't forget to join us on TikTok, Instagram and Twitter. Just type in Cruising with the 4Bs. We keep you bang up to date and have some fabulous photos on our socials. Here's our top tip. 2 weeks before, you'll have a chance to book your entertainment. You'll also have a chance to book the Olive Grove, which is included. You can pay a deposit for Sindhu, and you can also pay Epicurean in full. It's well worth it. I was online at 1 a.m. when it opened up, and it's just go into your booking number and all the things will be available online. You need to do this definitely to book the theatre shows, definitely if you want Sindhu. It just gets you ahead of the game. The more planning you can do before, the more you can relax. Just head onto the P&O website and book in, and then when you're on board you can head into the portal, and on the portal you can book things like 701, join a virtual queue for restaurant, but make sure you utilize it. Rachel, service.
On to service. So one thing that we did hear a lot about, it was quite clear that the ship was very full, and actually the staffing was not up to capacity to actually cope with this. Quite often there were a lot of queues. I think we waited one day 45 minutes to get a coffee in the Costa. No fault of their own, just very understaffed. As you can see, on a busy night in one of the bars, we did wait a long time to get a drink. You go up and then they almost don't want to serve you at the bar. However, no one's coming round to the table. On to our cabin steward. He was lovely. He was really on point. We had ice in our room every night. Couldn't do enough for us if we needed anything. Just a little one on the Epicurean. Service in here was absolutely fantastic. We actually had to get out to go to a show, and they made sure that we ate in the time that we needed to, because it normally takes about 2 hours to get through the service. But overall, I would say the one-on-one service was fantastic.
100% agree. I'll give it a 3. On to activities and to things around Iona. First of all, so many whirlpools. There is around 5 to 6 pools on board. We didn't get to use this. I'm not sure how much throughout the year they do get to use this splash zone. But if your kids or adults enjoy the water, then you are in for a treat on Iona. There's plenty of them, and they were actually quite warm as well. Kids didn't use Kids Club, but it looked fantastic. It was just because we were so busy. Alice will use it on our Avia cruise, but it looked really good in there. It was really, really popular. We do like P&O Kids Clubs. You've also got things like the sports area. It was a nice large area. You can play a little bit of golf. You've got large games up on the top there. And the cinema. Rachel, what do you think about activities on board?
I thought there was a fair amount to do. One thing I would say, like Tom said, it would be nice if there were more family quizzes going on throughout the day that we could get involved in. The cinema was quite good. Ernest and I did watch half of Jurassic Park in here, but it was a really nice touch, I felt. There were also lots of board games, which we did go and play in...
Anderson's,
that's the one. The gym, unfortunately, I didn't get to go to the gym as I was fairly poorly on this trip. As you can see, we went with Crazy Kev again. The entertainment was good from this point, but because our kids were a bit older, they didn't really get much help with what they were doing, which was a little bit disappointing, I felt.
Some things that I like enjoying is you can't beat in that atrium, just sitting there and whirling the day away, having a read. That's the best entertainment for myself. You've got pool tables, quizzes throughout the day as well. Just going back to my point, I do think there is room on top deck for one more fun thing for the family, but that's just a little niggle. There was daytime entertainment as well, things like Sooty. Well, he was excellent, and they'll always put on daytime kids entertainment if you're going in half terms or the summer.
Who's got a hearing aid? You've got a hearing aid.
Gareth Oliver was absolutely brilliant. I haven't laughed so much in a long time, so follow him on Instagram, and if you get to see him on P&O, you'll be in for a treat. The Headliners Theatre, the shows, actually, I felt P&O, it was much better than a lot of the cruise lines we've been on recently.
Modern as well, modern and old, I thought.
And I think so for the kids, they knew all of the songs that were being sung. Just really, really good. The 710 Club. So normally there's a band playing in here. We had the acoustic gentleman playing, and he was fantastic. However, it just wasn't our scene. Limelight Club, Lee Mead was absolutely amazing.
Worth the money.
Yeah, worth the money. Food wasn't up to par, but the entertainment was fantastic, and I would have paid just for that.
And we loved at night Pulse. The clubhouse was always packed, and it was really, really good. So overall, we really enjoyed the entertainment activities. 4 out of 5, Rachel?
4 out of 5.
Let's move on to the ports. Now, what we did is we went to Hamburg for a day. We were overnight in Rotterdam, and we headed to Amsterdam. And we also went to see Bruges. We've already been to see Bruges, and we wanted to discover more of Iona. Oh my, Miniature Land, my favourite activity. This place, you have to go to Miniature Land. It's 3 floors. It's the whole world.
Guess what?
In miniature. And it has an airport. It's truly amazing. You have to book well in advance. I'd say a couple of months before. We also visited Amsterdam. You've got to go on a boat tour, which was really good actually. Commentary in English and Dutch. And also visited Anne Frank, which is a must when you're in Amsterdam. And we also did this place, didn't we, Rachel?
The food hall. So Tom and I actually went out on our own for a little stroll. I think we walked 20,000 steps in total. That wasn't just getting there, that was around the ship as well. But the food was amazing. I wish we hadn't actually eaten before we had got off of the ship, because there was so much I think we wanted to try.
But all in all, having an overnight, I love an overnight on a cruise. And I thought it really, really made it. And these are really cool places to visit. For a northern cruise, I really liked them. And I'll give it another 4 out of 5, Rachel.
Yep, 4 out of 5. I would go to Northern Europe again. Value for money. So we paid £1,400 for a balcony cabin. And we had £100 onboard credit. Well worth the money, I think. Especially that was in half term. So a really good price for pretty much most things included within that. You're just paying for your drinks afterwards. And actually, we only paid in total afterwards, I think it was £400 for drinks for the whole week. And we did every single upcharge restaurant that we could do. So all in all, I don't think that was bad.
Drink prices are really good at the bar. So Epicurean was £28 per person. Definitely well worth it. Limelight was £28 per person. Again, really good. Sindhu total ended up being around £110, so £10 per person. Excellent. So we gave that a 5 out of 5, and our total score is 30.5 out of 5. Drum roll, please. Iona heads into second place, just behind Seaview.
That was our full review of P&O Iona. We hope you have enjoyed it.
I'm sure they've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And please consider subscribing. We've got some amazing cruise content coming, including Rachel.
World Europa.
And to finish up our Iona series, we have Iona Conservatory Suite Tour. Woo, exciting. But for now, on the screen shortly will be our full Iona ship tour. Only got one more message to tell everybody. It's a 4Bs staple. It is
Happy cruising.